Can we start with a team news? Because obviously with the international break, a number of players, Scott McKenna for example, had to come back early.
Yeah.
Have you got a prognosis on both players and where you are?
Scott's a doubt, to be honest. Obviously had to withdraw early from the Scotland camp. With regards to Monday, we're still unsure whether he's going to be available for that. And both the guys who stayed there and trained and went on international break, apart from Scott, everyone's good to go as we were before. So it's just Scott really.
The international break gives us this kind of opportunity, doesn't it, just to reflect on where we are now and obviously look ahead to the next block. I mean, given everything in pre-season, recruitment, the first 7 Premier League games, how do you assess that first period of the season?
I think a lot has happened, obviously, since that whirlwind of getting promoted at Wembley and then preparing for the season and recruitment and scheduling and everything else that has come along with transitioning from Championship to Premier League, both on and off the pitch. There's definitely been some real positives in terms of that transition, and obviously there's been some things that haven't started as we would have liked. Results in the last few games obviously being won, and some parts of the performances as well, which we're having to deal with. So it's been probably a mix of some disappointment, some real pleasing bits, like I said, of some bits that maybe I've not seen in terms of here around the training ground, and even parts of performances have been good as well. But for sure. And obviously, let's not forget the excitement for the club of getting back to the Premier League. And I think where we were 12 months ago to where we are now, it's been a massive period of progress. And I don't think we should, and I don't think anyone is losing sight of that. But the Premier League is tough. Obviously, it's exciting and it's brilliant to be part of it. But it's game by game, it's a real ruthless, tough environment that you're in. But we wanted this. We wanted to be part of it, and we after the a disappointing couple of weeks before the break, we are really determined to progress. And how do you progress? First and foremost, is picking up more points than what we have done. We can't lose sight of the fact that, like I said, them games going into the break, the losses, and particularly the last two were not good, but it's now become part of the challenge of what was going to be a tough season, and we've got to work really hard now to put things right.
Have you had the chance to speak to the owner over the international break?
Speak to him often, after most, if not every game, and conversations have been normal, and so there's been no change there in terms of communication, and the chief executive and the board, and normal conversations, to be fair.
They're happy with the progress now and certainly where things are going.
I think they probably feel the same as me. Obviously some disappointments in the previous few games, but can see that we've signed a lot of new players, which everybody knows and has been well documented, and we're not going to hide away from that. It's a tough challenge to become the team that we want to become, and we're not that yet. At times we have been in games. 3 of the games where we've taken the lead, we've been good for it, and then we've looked like a new team then by not seeing that through. So that's sort of where we're at really, and but there's only one thing to do, and that's to work even harder and to show that that we're up for the challenge, and that's we're aiming to improve.
Thank you.
Aye.
It will have been 17 days since your last Premier League game and your next one.
Feels about 3 months.
I bet it does, it has been a while in football. Has this time of the international break been beneficial to you and your coaching staff, or has it been a case of kind of counting down the days?
A bit of both, I think, yeah. I mean, obviously when sometimes it can be nothing worse than losing a game just before an international break. And you just want to, like any loss, you just want to get back and play again. But then at the same time, we've tried to use the break as wisely as we can, in terms of some work that we've tried to do on the grass, some reassessing, some time to reflect, and with the hope that when you come back in, it's only today that we've had everybody back. In some ways, that's good because we don't play till Monday. I know Leicester will be the same, but if we were playing tomorrow, it would have only given us one opportunity to be together before the game. But yeah, we've tried to use the time wisely. We've really worked hard with the guys that stay behind. There's still a good chunk of lads that stayed behind, and we've, like I said, it's given us a chance to do some reflection, some reviewing, looking at things to the previous question that have gone okay, and certainly some things that we need to improve on. And but that's what we would have done anyway, regardless of losing some games going into the break. So yeah, but at the same time, you know, we're really looking forward to playing again, and it's great to have all the boys back in. And you know, we want to put things right. You know, results have not been good in the last few games, as I keep saying. So is a real motivation now to get on with it, to face up to it, and to to pick up more points than we were before the break.
Yeah, I know you touched on it already. A lot has been made about the number of players that you signed. 12 of your first team players were representing their country. I know you mentioned the fact that it's a work in progress to get these these players moulding as a team, but has the absence of those internationals kind of hindered progress?
Well, I think for sure, yeah, you would have liked them boys to have, just because of the nature of us, you know, being a new group and trying to get the connection and the feel between how we want to play and the spirit that we want in the group. The best way of improving that is time together. So, but it's normal, especially with the Premier League squad, for so many players to be away, you know that every other Premier League will be the same. And like I said, there was still a good chunk of lads who stayed here, and we've built a programme around them. We haven't kept it generic. We've really built a programme around how we can improve the players that are here, and that's been good. So we've tried to maximise that. But now everyone's back together. We have to, like I said, sort of quickly accelerate. Hopefully, you know, getting to the levels that we need to be. I repeat, some bits have been okay. Other bits we need to improve quickly on. And that's where our focus is now.
Good. Well, looking ahead to Monday then, it's still very early days into the season, but you hear a lot about the importance of beating the teams around you. How important is your trip to Leicester in your eyes?
Well, I think it's obviously a local game, and you know, there'll be rivalry in the support, and that's exciting to be part of that. And it's not so much about. I think where we're at, I think it's about putting our wrongs right, regardless of who we're playing, and getting to the levels that we need to be at and we want to be at. So there's two things there. Obviously, a game against Leicester is a big one because whatever part of the season and whatever the league positions, it still would have been a big game because of the local side to it, and that's important to us, of course, very important to us. But what's also really important to us is that we improve. And we prepare right for the game, and we try and pick up points for us, and that's where our commitment is and our focus is.
Would you say then, with all that in mind, that your prospective positions in the table do give this derby an added edge, perhaps?
Maybe, yeah. Like I said, I repeat, we're just focused on us being right in the game and us committing to the game and us doing everything we can to get the points. One, because that's what we need, and I repeat, we didn't pick up nowhere near enough points before the last few weeks before the break, and we need to improve on that. So on that front, yes. Also, like I said, it's a local derby, but our focus is on us raising our levels, and it's a real internal sort of focus on that from the players first and foremost, supported by myself and the staff, and it's all part of this challenge, and but we're motivated, we're focused, but we're also really sort of excited about improving, and if we can get some positive results in the up and coming games, then things will look a bit different, and that's what we've got to aim to do. We're not that far away really in terms of points, and easier said than done, of course, but that's what we got to be positive and like focused on what we can do rather than what we can't do.
Yeah, you say you're not that far away. Of course, you had been leading in the last two games. A lot of confidence can be taken that you went into half-time with a lead. But how now can you look to address any second-half drop-off moving forward? Because there's a lot of games left to play. Yeah,
of course, yeah. And that's, like I said, that's the good bit about the challenge, is that there's some obvious things that we need to put right. And what's been pleasing is that the aspects of improvement has come from the players as much as myself, and I think that's always a good sign that the players are. Listen, I'm the leader. I'll always stand up and be counted, but it's also good to know that the players are thinking internal and talking to themselves. And when we have team meetings, which are always collaborative, is that they are talking about where they can improve, but also talking about things that they feel are going really well as well. So, we're really together. Like I said, in what was a difficult little period before the break, it hasn't dented our spirit. It's, if anything, it's made us even more motivated, even more focused. It's made me realise even more how important this job is to me, and how much it means to me, and it meant a lot anyway. So we're looking forward to getting back playing, because there's only one way of not answering questions like this, and that's picking up more points than what we have. And like I said, we're really committed, focused, and determined to change your questions.
Yeah, finally from me then, on an upbeat note, how kind of is that positivity, that togetherness, and that commitment when it's not going perhaps the way that you have?
Yeah, I think definitely. Listen, it's not out of the norm for a promoted team at some stage in the season to go on a difficult run. You know, in some ways it's expected. You know, you can start really well and drop off, and we've been a bit of both. You know, the initial start was okay, was good in some ways, but then obviously the last few games before the break have not been so good. So it's not. I'm not saying we planned at some stage to have a bad run, but we also knew that it could have been likely. What we've got to do now is recognising that we're in it and make sure we get out of it, you know, and that's where the determination is. So we won't be the only newly promoted team or team maybe that's in a similar league position to us that goes on a difficult run. I guess what we've got to do is not shy away from it, face up to it, talk about it, no elephants in the room, and deal with it head on, and that's what we're doing.
All the very best for them.
You too. Thank you.
Steve, obviously we're East Midlands today, so for us this is a huge one, and that game last season in the Cup was such a highlight. Can you remember the atmosphere? And you know, I know you haven't been here long, but you get the passion and the pride for the fans for this one.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I've already alluded to. You know, it's a local derby, and we saw how important it was on that day, and it will be equally important in this one as well. Okay, we're away from home. It's a league game now and not a cup tie as it was. So there's lots of things different about both teams and the situations. But yeah, like I said before, regardless of when you play a game like this, there's always going to be that rivalry and excitement of a derby. And we're honoured to be part of it. And we've got to be ready for it.
Does it help in terms of, I suppose it's a bit of a leveller for some, because the fans don't care about, form and all that goes out the window. They just want to win this game.
Yes, again, that's the case for any derby, and I think what's important is, and we do, and the players do, is we understand that importance of a derby, and we carry that responsibility. Try not to make it too heavy for when we're playing, because that's not helping, but use it as motivation. And, that should make us determined to play well, to run more, to fight more, to do whatever it takes to get the result. And that's what we're going to be doing. But, we can't wait. We can't wait to get over there. Like I said, it'll be a brilliant atmosphere and under the lights, and, one we're determined to do well in.
One of the great things from last season was the bond that you created with everybody. There was a real togetherness. It came from the club, and you was real key to getting that going, and this new generation of fans. It's hard, I guess, to do that when you're in the Premier League and you've got all these tough games running thick and fast. But how important now is
massive
for the fans to still stick with you?
Yeah, and I think a real togetherness, a real spirit, is always shown in difficult moments. That's a true togetherness. That's a true spirit, and it's easy for us all when we're winning games or times are good. Like I said, the real strength of that, and the real test of that, is when you go through difficult moments, whether it be during a game, whether it be a run, whether it be anything else that might be going against you at that moment in time. that's when you really want to see the strength of our spirit. And again, I've talked to the players about that. We have got to make sure we do our part of that and improve results, improve performances, make sure that the supporters can see there's a team and a set of players that care, which they do. Same with me and the staff, and hopefully through tough moments, that spirit that you alluded to and that togetherness really shines through. And I think that was a good example in the last game against Fulham. Nobody wanted to see us concede 3 goals in quick succession as we did. It was painful for everybody, but I thought the supporters were brilliant that night, and really stuck with us and really played their part in trying to help us end up getting something out of the game, which we didn't quite do, which was our fault in the end. But it was very obvious to me that night that the fans were doing their very best to help us, and we're going to need that. But we've got to play our part as well to make sure that we keep that going.
At the moment, Brendan Rodgers at Leicester is under a lot of pressure. I know you'll focus on what you're doing here, but as a fellow manager, he's got them into the FA Cup. He's made them a sustainable top 10 Premier League team. So from our point of view, covering Leicester for years, what he's done has been incredible, but he's under a lot of pressure. Do you have any sympathy with him as a manager?
I think that Brendan's a really experienced and manager and a really good manager as well, and he doesn't need any sympathy or support from me. In regards to like you said, any manager, we go through all of them emotions, and some guys obviously have done it a lot longer than I've done. I've only been doing it for 3 years, but it's until you go in there, you don't really realise the emotions that you can go through, and it can be the highest of highs and sometimes the complete opposite. I just think that's the nature of the role, and we will all go through all of them things at some stage. So it's the life of a manager, and it's something you accept when you take on the job. But like I said, we're just focused really on what we do. We're not too focused on elsewhere, because like I said, we've got some improving to do for sure, and we're really committed to that.
Just quickly and finally for me, you spoke a lot, I think, if I'm right, about keeping the spine of the team together because of what you guys achieved last season. Of course, it's a very different team. Is that difficult for you as a manager, because there's been obviously so many different signings?
It's a challenge for sure, and I'm not going to shine over that. Because of the new group that we have, and we are. I said before that for the last game, we are finding a new way. With the team that the set of players that we've got, squad that we've got, and team that we've got, we are finding a way and working hard towards that. But while we're doing that, we've got to pick up enough points along the way. So there's two sort of focuses at the same time, and what you want to be doing is get to where you want the group to be. And I think it's okay for it not to be quite right at the moment, because why should it be with all these new people, new players that have come in? And I've said that to the players. It's okay if some things are a little bit inconsistent, but what we've got to do is really work hard to address that and improve it quickly. And like I said, listen, it will always be about how many points you get, results always be about that. But I ain't also going to be narrow-minded enough not to see that we've done some good things in games as well, and there's been a lot of good individual performances, and there's been some good spells in games, and we've also got to hone in on that as well, because the aim is to do more of that, and what we haven't been able to do in the last couple of games is put a 90-minute performance together. We've had some halves have been excellent, but what we've got to do is try and keep that up for a full game, and that's what we're working really hard on. Thank you.
Thank you. Just wrap it up, John. Thank you.
Steve, can I just sweep up Pepin Junior? Is Morgan Gibbs-White fit to play on Monday?
Morgan obviously missed out in the England under-21s, but he's sort of integrating him back into training the last day or two, so not completely conclusive on that yet, but we're hoping so, yeah.
Cool. And you told us last time that Mangala had a bit of a setback. Where is he at?
Still recovering, really, not far away, but still recovering, making good progress.
Cool. And Omar Richards, he's back in training, I think.
No, he's not back in training. We're really happy with his progress, and we're seeing him frequently on the grass. Not with us yet, but we're doing close to his final stages of rehab. So it's still weeks rather than days, but yeah, we're really happy with his commitment, and it's been such a frustrating time for him, hasn't it? Managed to lure him to come here, and then after a few days he picks up the knock, and we've not been able to see him training since, but he's still very much part of what we're doing here, and obviously we see him every day and he's working hard, and unfortunately he's had a bit of company recently with people in the injury room with him, but hopefully sooner rather than later we can see him out with the team.